When you look in the mirror, who do you really see? Beyond the face, the hair, the skin, I am talking about the mirror of your soul. Can you see your strength, your beauty, your innate power? Or does your gaze, like a magnet, go straight to the cracks, to the flaws, the imperfections, the scars from all the times that life told you, or that you told yourself, that you were not good enough, that you were not worthy, that there was something fundamentally wrong with you? These cracks, over time, can distort our entire self-image, forcing us to live with a reflection that does not honor the magnificence of our true essence. But what if I told you that these cracks are not your shame, but the exact site of your greatest power? And what if I told you that in the next 48 hours, starting on July 28th, the cosmos is offering us a rare alchemical opportunity to repair this mirror, not to hide the cracks, but to fill them with liquid gold, a harmonious sextile, a bridge of light and opportunity, is forming in the sky between Venus, the goddess of love and our sense of worth, and Chiron, the archetype of the wounded healer. It is a healing portal. It is the universe handing us the liquid gold of self-compassion and healing words to apply to our deepest identity wounds. This is your Kintsugi journey, the ancient Japanese art of transforming what was broken into an even more beautiful and valuable work of art. It is the reconstruction of your inner mirror. This is not a guide on how to achieve perfection or erase your past. It is a guide on how to find the beauty in your story, the strength in your scars, and the perfection in your imperfection. It is about transforming your wounds into your greatest source of power and compassion. Most people spend their lives trying to hide or ignore their cracks, weakening their own foundation. But the art of healing begins with the courageous act of looking at these fractures with honesty. Our journey of restoration begins with diagnosing the cracks in the mirror and the voice of the critic that deepens them each day. And these cracks are not abstract. They have symptoms. They have a voice. They have behavioral patterns that repeat, often so subtly that they become part of who we believe we are. The art of healing, the art of the Kintsugi of the soul, begins with the precise diagnosis of the wound. Before we can apply the gold of compassion, we must, with courage and love, trace with our fingers the outline of each fissure in our inner mirror. The first and most persistent symptom, the voice that deepens all the other cracks, is the internal critic's monologue. It is the cruel narrator that lives in your mind and comments on, judges, and condemns your every act. It is the voice that, at the exact moment you accomplish something, however small, immediately points out the small flaw, the detail that could have been better. It is the voice that, before you even try something new and brave, already lists in your head, with impeccable logic, all the reasons why you're going to fail, humiliate yourself, or be rejected. Astrologically, this is the manifestation of Venus in Gemini, the power of the mind and the word in service of your wound. Instead of being used to express your worth in Venus, your mind and your words, Gemini, are co-opted by the pain of Chiron and become a sophisticated instrument of self-torture. It is crucial that you understand. This critic is not you. It is not the voice of truth. It is the echo of the voices of parents, teachers, or a society that, at some point in your past, made you believe that your worth was conditional, that you needed to be perfect to be loved. Living with this monologue is exhausting. It's like trying to create the masterpiece of your life with a critic shouting in your ear with every brushstroke. Recognizing this voice not as the truth, but as a symptom, is your first act of rebellion. The second symptom, fueled directly by the internal critic, is constant comparison. When our inner mirror is cracked, we don't trust our own reflection. The image we see of ourselves is distorted. fragmented. So, in an act of desperation, we seek to see ourselves in the mirrors of others. Social media becomes a labyrinth of mirrors, and every post, every photo of success, every perfect body, every happy relationship becomes new and painful proof of our own inadequacy. Comparison is the direct consequence of an identity wound, Chiron in Aries. When we don't know who we are or don't trust our own innate worth, we need external rulers to measure ourselves against. The problem is that in this game, we always lose, as we are comparing our chaotic and human backstage with the perfectly edited and lit stage of others. It is a form of silent self-aggression that only deepens the existing cracks in our mirror, convincing us more and more that we are the only ones who are broken. The third symptom is one of the most revealing, a litmus test for self-esteem. It is the inability to receive compliments. Someone offers you a positive reflection. A friend praises your work. A partner compliments your appearance. They offer you a clean mirror of your beauty or your talent. And you, instead of simply receiving it and saying thank you, feel uncomfortable. You look away. You downplay the achievement. Oh, it was nothing, just luck. You immediately point out a flaw to invalidate the compliment. Yes, but I messed up on that other part. This happens because the compliment, the positive image, does not correspond to the cracked image you have grown accustomed to seeing of yourself. It's like trying to put beautiful clothes on someone who firmly believes they are ugly. The cognitive dissonance is too great. Rejecting the compliment is a tragic way of protecting the identity of the flawed self. Because, as painful as it is familiar. It is your wound defending itself from healing. The critic that attacks, the comparison that diminishes, and the defense that rejects beauty. These are the guardians of your wound. They are the mechanisms that keep your mirror perpetually cracked. But where did the original crack come from? And more importantly, what is the gold made of that can finally repair it? To understand the art of healing, we now need to decode the two sacred ingredients the cosmos offers us: the liquid gold of Venus and the primordial wound of Chiron. To become the master artisans of our own soul, we must first understand the nature of the materials the cosmos offers us. On one side, the crack, our sacred wound. On the other, the liquid gold, the healing substance. The beauty of this astrological moment lies in the harmonious interaction between these two great archetypes. Let us now decode the anatomy of our wound and the composition of our remedy. First, the fracture. Chiron in the sign of Aries. In astrology, Chiron is not a planet, but an asteroid with an eccentric orbit that travels between the world of structure, Saturn, and the world of liberation, Uranus. In mythology, Chiron was a centaur, half man, half horse, a being that did not completely belong to either world. He was an immortal teacher, a wise healer, a master of numerous arts, but he carried an incurable wound, inflicted by accident, and it was through the study of his own pain that he became the greatest healer of all. In our birth chart, Chiron represents exactly that, our deepest wound, the one that seems to never fully heal, but which paradoxically becomes the source of our greatest gift, our greatest wisdom, and our greatest compassion for others. When this wound is in the sign of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of I am, the fracture occurs in our most fundamental identity. The Aries wound is the wound of the right to exist. It is born from early experiences where our individuality, our anger, our courage to be who we are, was in some way denied, punished, or invalidated. It is the child who heard, "Don't be so loud, don't be so selfish, stop calling for attention," and who translated that into, "There is something wrong with being myself." It is the wound of feeling that we must constantly fight to prove our worth, to justify our existence. It is the pain of not feeling good enough in our essence. This is the original crack in our inner mirror. It is the underlying belief that fuels the internal critic and the constant comparison. Now the remedy. Venus in the sign of Gemini. Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, harmony, and crucially our sense of worth and self-esteem. She is the force in our psyche that allows us to attract, receive, and enjoy what is good. It is our ability to feel worthy of love, of pleasure, of abundance. And at this moment, she is traveling through the realm of Gemini, the sign of the mind, of communication, of the word, and of thought, ruled by Mercury. Venus in Gemini finds beauty in intelligence, in dialogue, in the exchange of ideas. Her way of loving is through communication, curiosity, lightness. Therefore, the healing power that Venus offers us now is not a power of deep emotion or physical action. It is the healing power of the word. It is the thoughts we choose to cultivate, the internal dialogue we nurture, the affirmations we declare. Venus in Gemini offers us the liquid gold of conscious communication to apply to our wounds. It is the ability to deliberately rewrite the monologue of our internal critic, to transform thoughts of self-criticism into words of self-compassion. And finally, the alchemical opportunity, the connection between the wound and the remedy. This weekend, Venus and Chiron form a sextile. A sextile is a 60-degree angle, an aspect of harmony, of opportunity, of easy flow. Think of it as a bridge of light that opens in the sky, connecting two realms. It is an offer from the universe. It does not force us to cross the bridge, but it makes it available to us. The energy of the sextile says, here is an opportunity. Here is a tool. Will you use it? The opportunity offered to us is, therefore, to take the liquid gold of our conscious mind and our compassionate voice, Venus in Gemini, and through this harmonious bridge, pour it directly into the cracks of our identity wound, Chiron in Aries. It is the universe telling us, the cure for your wound of not feeling good enough will not come from more achievements or from external approval. The cure will come from the way you speak to yourself. The cure is in your words, in your thoughts. It is an invitation to become the healer of our own wound, using the most powerful tool we possess, our consciousness. This is the sacred architecture of this healing portal, a wound that yearns for acceptance, a balm made of words of love, and a bridge of opportunity that unites them. Now that we understand the mechanics of the restoration, we can become the artists. We can begin the sacred work of transforming our scars into gold. And like every great artist, we need a method, a technique. The art of healing oneself is not an act of random inspiration that happens by luck, but a sacred craft that can be learned, practiced, and mastered. What follows is the guide to your inner workshop, the 3 phases of the art of the golden scars, your process for becoming the master artisan of your own mirror. Practice them in the stillness of the next 48 hours while the portal of Venus and Chiron is open. The first and bravest phase is cleansing the cracks. Before a master artisan applies the gold to a broken piece of pottery, they must first meticulously clean every edge, every fragment. Any dust or debris will prevent the golden alloy from adhering correctly. In the same way, before we can apply the balm of healing, we need to cleanse the wound, to bring the infection to light. Prepare your sacred space, your journal, your pen. Breathe deeply and place a hand on your heart. The intention of this phase is not to hurt yourself again, but to give a voice to what hurts so that it can be treated. At the top of a page, write the title, The Critic's Words. Now summon it. Remember a recent situation where you felt inadequate, where its voice was loud and clear. And then, right, give your inner critic the stage all to itself, without any censorship. Let it speak. Write down every cruel criticism, every judgment, every comparison it whispers in your mind. You'll never achieve this. You always give up. You are a fraud. And at any moment, everyone will find out. Nobody really likes you. They just tolerate you. Look at that flaw in your body, in your work. It's horrible and everyone sees it. Do not hold back. Use its exact words. Externalize the poison onto the page. Empty the monologue. This act of writing is the confession, the draining of the abscess. It is painful, but it is the most necessary step. Continue until you feel the critic has exhausted itself, that there is nothing more to be said. With the wound now cleansed and exposed to the light of your consciousness, the true alchemy begins. The second phase is applying the gold. Now we take the liquid gold of Venus in Gemini and the power of the compassionate word of the gentle thought, and we begin to delicately fill each crack that the critic has opened. On a new page or in a column next to the previous one, write the title, The Golden Words of the Soul. Now for each poisonous criticism you wrote, you will create a counter-affirmation. But this is not an empty and unrealistic positive affirmation. It is a word of truth, of compassion, and of reality, coming from your wise adult soul. If the critic said, "You'll never achieve this," the golden word is not "I am a success," but perhaps every step I take is an act of courage and learning, and I honor my own rhythm. If the critic said, "You are a fraud," the golden word could be, "I am a human being in process, learning and evolving," and that is the purest form of authenticity. If the critic said, "Nobody really likes you," the golden word could be, "I choose to give myself the unconditional love and respect I seek from others, and to attract those who resonate with that." For each crack of self-criticism, patiently apply the gold of a higher, kinder and more loving truth. The gold has been applied. Now the final phase, we need to polish the mirror so that it can reflect your new image with a clear and stable brilliance. The third phase is polishing the new mirror. Take your journal to a mirror. Cover or ignore the page of criticisms. Look only at the page of the golden words. Now look deep into your own eyes. Choose one of the golden sentences you wrote and read it out loud to yourself. Feel the vibration of the word in your chest. At first, it might feel strange, false. Your old mind, your critic, might resist and mock. Persist, breathe, and say it again. Repeat the sentence until you feel a small shift in your body, a resonance, a warmth, a relief. You are, literally, using the vibration of your own voice, Venus in Gemini, to seal the healing in your body, Chiron, reprogramming your self-image on a cellular level, cleansing the wound with honesty, filling it with the gold of compassion, polishing the new reflection with your own voice. This is the art of the golden scars. This is a process you can repeat whenever a new crack appears. By practicing it, you cease to be a victim of your wounds and become the artist of your own healing, and an artist who knows the beauty of their own work, no matter how full of golden scars it may be, is ready to relate to the world in an entirely new way. And that is the true transformation, the final result of your art. The passage from being ashamed of your cracks to honoring them as the most precious part of your story. The philosophy of Kintsugi teaches us that beauty resides in restoration, that your scars are not your shame, but the proof of your resilience, filled with the gold of your own compassion, and now the strongest and most valuable part of your story. Your self-esteem is no longer based on the illusion of perfection, but on the unshakable reality of one who had the courage to transform their wounds into gold. This new inner mirror, now restored, fundamentally changes the way you relate to the world. You stop desperately seeking a validating reflection in others because your own reflection is already whole, beautiful, and true. You stop being afraid of criticism because you understand that the opinions of others are just a breath of wind, incapable of cracking a mirror that has been repaired with the gold of your own soul. You begin to attract people who are not drawn to your facade of perfection, but to the authentic beauty of your golden scars. Many will feel the healing energy of this transit, but will not know how to use it. They will feel the pain of the wound, but will not realize that the cosmos was simultaneously offering them the gold to heal it. They will continue trying to hide their cracks, but not you. You chose to be the artist. You chose conscious healing, and that puts you on a new level of personal power and inner peace. If this journey of restoration and beauty has resonated with you, if you are ready to honor the work of art that you are, seal this intention in your heart and in your energy field by liking this video. And to declare to the universe and to yourself the beauty of your resilience, go to the comments section and affirm with the pride of a master artisan, "My scars are gold." Feel the truth in this declaration. Read the affirmations of other human works of art and know that you are part of a gallery of courageous souls. And share this transmission with everyone you know who is struggling with their own cracked mirrors and who needs to be reminded that their wounds can become their greatest beauty. Finally, subscribe and turn on notifications, because rebuilding the mirror is the first step. The next is to show it to the world with confidence. Soon, Venus, the goddess of love and relationships, will form a challenging aspect. It will be the first great test for your new mirror. Will you be able to maintain the vision of your own beauty when confronted with the complexity of relationships? On our next journey, we will talk about the art of relating as a complete work of art. You won't want to miss it. Remember, you are not broken. You are a masterpiece in constant restoration.